What's up, guys? We are back for episode 4. Same close as the last episode. You know I'm knocking these out as fast as I can. I want to make sure that I don't miss a week. I want to make sure that we can keep the ball rolling and we can start to gain traction and change some lives. This episode, I got my little notepad, just like the last episode. Hopefully you watched it. That one was probably the best one yet. I think for sure. I didn't say like that much. I said it, but I didn't say it that much. I actually got my thoughts out without interrupting myself, and we really dove deep on bad kids and how bad kids shouldn't be bad. There is no bad kid. There's just kids that need someone to talk to, need someone to understand them, to see what they've gone through or what they're going through, and just lend a helping hand. So hopefully you watched the last episode, because that one touches me, because I was the kid that needed help. I'm glad I didn't get it, because I wouldn't be talking to you right now. But let's not let every kid slip through the cracks. Not everybody's going to turn it into something positive. And we've got enough people in prison on drugs and homeless and going through mental health issues because of all their trauma. So let's not let all these kids slip through the cracks. Let's talk to the bad kids, because no kid's bad. No kid wants to fight over play. They're just fighting their demons, and they're just burying stuff. So I hope you watched that one. If not, go back and watch it, because it was great. This episode, we're going to be talking about cheating and being cheated on. I did a lot of both. Well, I went through one, I did the other. It was, yeah. So we're going to get into that. I know being cheated on will really affect you. It turned me into such a heartless monster. And then instead of using that to grow and to be a better person, I decided that I'm going to hurt others. I'm going to destroy other people's confidence, self-worth, and I'm going to make the same bad decisions that people made with me, and I'm going to make some monsters. In episode 2, we kind of touched base on it a little bit, the people that I hurt and the things that I did, just a little bit. That one was kind of all over the place. Now I got my little notepad. It's just a piece of paper. But now I got my little notepad, and we can actually stay on topic and really get into it. I remember the first time I was cheated on. Was it the first time? I believe it was the first time. Her name was Keely. She was like the love of my life. And just because she was really my first love, our parents were friends until my dad took, our parents were friends until my dad took off. Her dad was friends with my dad. He never left her. Her mom and dad went through a divorce. Her mom and dad went through a divorce, but he never took off like my dad did. He even told me one day later on in life, when I was older, he saw me and he goes, your dad never came back? Nope, I haven't seen him in years. Eventually he did try to hit me up and message me and talk to me, but I was 33 at the time. I don't need more friends. I'm good. I mean, I'll take more friends, but I don't need more friends like that, for sure. But he didn't take off. We knew each other forever. I remember being a little kid, because he drove trucks and my dad drove trucks, and we went with him because he drove like cow trucks, if I remember correct, because I just remember all the poop. And we went with them. We were riding along. Yeah, we were friends forever. And I'm going to ask her if I can keep her name in it. If not, it might have just bleeped when I said her name. Hopefully we don't say it a lot, because I don't really want to go through this and watch the whole thing just looking for her name. I'm sure she'll be cool with it. She's a cool person. we went through a lot together. We were terrible together. We were very toxic together. But one time, we were dating at the time, and there was two guys that wanted her and my friend's girlfriend to go with them. And they want to go watch movies and stuff. No, come on. And she's all, don't worry, you don't have to worry. I was like, you two chicks are going with two guys. I'm not stupid. I understand what this is. I'm not dumb. I would never. They're just friends. Blah, blah, blah. Of course, there's alcohol involved. You make some stupid decisions when there's alcohol involved. Doesn't give you a right to do the stuff, but it's something that it happens. You don't think straight. You do dumb. At least I do. I do stupid stuff when I'm drinking. That's why I don't like to drink much. I am a terrible person when I'm drinking. Not terrible. Like, sometimes I'm fun, but once it gets too... I'm a lot of fun when I'm drinking. We have a good time. I usually have a great time, but there are also times where I'm not the best person. I wouldn't say terrible. I'm just not the best version of myself. I used to be terrible. We'll get in... That should be episode 5. I didn't even think of that. That's a bad episode. That's going to show you a lot of the piece of shit that I was. And when I say piece of shit, there's stories when I was drinking that will have you going, what the fuck? What the fuck? So maybe we'll get into that on episode 5. But, yeah, we were together. They wanted to hang out. She promised. She swore. It's going to be perfectly fine. Fine, whatever. Trust you, go. And then the next day I get the call. I'm so sorry, crying. Like, I'm so sorry. I cheated on you. I was like, of course you did. And my buddy's girlfriend cheated on him. She's all I did was give him, just play with it a little. I just gave him a hand job. And I was pissed. So I lived down the block from where he worked, and he loved this car. He had a car that he loved. I was furious. I walked to my garage. I grabbed this big mallet, huge, and I just took off to his work. I was going to walk up to the window, smash his car windows up, wait for him to come out, and I was going to wreck this dude. I was going to beat him so bad. Luckily for me, he wasn't at work that day. Probably why they were hanging out the night before, but I was going to wreck this dude. I was furious. I just grabbed the shit, walked down the block, took the left to the car. I was ready. I was going to mess some stuff up. Luckily, it didn't happen. Could have been bad. There's a lot of situations where I'm lucky things didn't happen or I didn't get caught. That's a whole nother episode. There's some things I can't even talk about because I don't know if I'll still get in trouble for it. And yeah, there's some things that we're not even going to touch on. I don't know if I can still go to jail for it, and I don't want to go to jail for something I did as a stupid kid. Because they'll do it. They'll catch you. They will definitely try to come back at you. Depending. I don't know. It depends. I have heard some stories, though, where they come back and they get you for stuff that happened 10, 20 years ago, and I'm not trying to go to prison. I don't need that in my life. I've got too much going on. I've got too many people to help. I can't go to prison for things that I did. But that cheating situation broke me. It was crazy. I think I even got back with her. But yeah, that was one. And then there were like the little kid situations where you're like dating somebody, but you're not really, you're kids. And then they start messing with a friend or they do something. There were those situations. So my trust just kept getting broken and broken and broken. And you try to piece those pieces back together so that you can still trust people. But you've just got this shattered version that you're gluing back together, and you just don't have that same amount of trust. It's hard to keep trusting women when you keep getting your heart broken. And instead of turning into a nice guy or a good guy, I turned into the exact opposite. I used to be very, very bad. My grandma, there was a movie that came out. It was John Tucker Must Die, something like that. Something Tucker Must Die. And it's about this dude who has all kinds of girlfriends, and they all end up joining up and they try to kill him. I think it was like John Tucker Must Die. Something like that. My grandma used to joke all the time. She's like, they made a movie about you. That's your movie. It was bad. At one point, I was dating 4 girls at the same time. Maybe 5. And I hooked up with all of them in one day. It was a long day. It was very difficult to do. I used to brag about it like it was some accomplishment. Like, I had sex with 4 girls in one day. It's not really cool. It's unless you're some scumbag piece of shit that just wants to womanize. And that's who I was. I thought I was so cool. I had sex with 4 girls in one day. I'm so awesome. And the only people that think that's cool are losers too, which is who I hung out with. Who would have guessed, right? I hung out with losers and not really good people. And I would date girls in different cities that went to different schools. Because I was driving, I could go here, I'd meet them. I don't even know. I'd meet them through other people. Like one girl I was dating, she was the ex-girlfriend to someone who was kind of a friend. And then I would go to parties in Greeley, and I'd meet girls, and then I would start dating them. Or like some girls, I have no idea how I even started dating them. I really don't. But once I grew into my body and I was able to get girls because I was picked on so much and I was treated like shit so much and I never got the time of day, I just became terrible. Terrible. I remember when I first lost my virginity, I was so scared, and it didn't last long. It was real quick, and I had to be like, I think I hear people coming. Let's go for a walk, and then go back and do it again. But when that happened, I was still talking to Keely at the time. God, I hope I don't have to keep taking that out. We're going to mark that down, 41, episode 2, just in case. But I was talking to her at the time, and she was upset because she thought that we would lose our virginity together. But we weren't really dating or anything at the time. We were just friends. We were messing around, like doing stuff, but we were just friends, so I didn't understand that. Pretty sure I ended up taking her virginity. I took a lot of virginities, and then it was bad. But I'm pretty sure after that, she was my second, and then I started dating her cousin, which she didn't like. I took her virginity. I met with a couple other people. I took their virginity, and then I would just ghost them, cheat on them, just be a terrible person. And I don't even know how many people I hurt and how many people I probably destroyed their trust with. I was so worried about my trust and then being the big shot, being the big guy that got to hook up with people that I didn't even care about anyone else. I dated this one girl, Brandy. I'm sure she'll let me keep her name in. But I was with Brandy, and when we first started dating, she was a friend's sister, and I'd always, every time we'd hang out, so Brandy, when are you going to let me hit? When are you going to let me fuck? What's up, Brandy? And then eventually she was like, all right, let's do it. And then once we did it, it turned into a whole thing. I kind of had that way. Once we hooked up, it was sold. You're done. Like you're hooked. Not saying I'm some great lover. I don't know what it was, especially when it was happening so fast, But we hooked up, and then I was always the type, if we hook up, I was never a one and done person because I just wanted to keep having sex. I was very addicted. I come to find out later in life that what I went through as a kid turned me into a sex addict, and it turned me... That's such a hard thing to say, because what I went through as a kid turned me into a sex addict and turned me into a womanizer and made me just run through these women. But I guess at that young age, you you don't have the ability to comprehend that. And that being older now, you can be like, no, I can't let what happened in the past turn me into something. But at that age, you're just stuck. It really does turn you into these things. But the past sexual stuff, being brought at that at 4 and such a young age, really turned me into a monster. Then I was fat, didn't get the light of day from girls. Then I realized that, oh, the girls actually like me now. They think I'm cute. That helped turn me into a monster. Getting trust broken turned me into a monster. And it made me crazy. But when me and this girl got together, I told her straight up. I was like, look, we can date, we can do all that. One day I might marry you, but I'm gonna fuck other people. It's just the way it is. I said I'm young, I'm crazy, I'm definitely fucking other people. And I would have people call, like, I would hook up with someone in Denver, because this was during my raver days, and I would be selling drugs, we'd be doing Molly, doing ecstasy, we'd have sex, and you're all drugged up, so it's just insane sex. And I would have like a girlfriend here, and they would go nuts. Because eventually I would just stop talking to them, I'd stop calling them, and my phone would just be going crazy. And she'd always be like, I don't know what you do to these girls. And I was like, I don't know either. I had to change my number so many times. I went through so many phone numbers just to get rid of girls. And at one point, I hooked up with this chick, and I told her, I said, don't give me hickeys. Like, I gotta go home. She knew I had a girlfriend. She took that as a challenge and gave me every hickey everywhere. So I go home, because we live together. I go home, and she's all, what the fuck is all over you? And I was like, well, there's this thing. You spin it real fast. I was going off of those things that work your forearms where you spin them. And I was like, you spin it real fast like this, and it creates a suction, and it latches to your neck, and wherever it latches to, it leaves a hickey. It's called a hickey ball. And we were all drinking. I was drinking with the boys, and they held me down. And I was like, no, don't do it. You know, I got a girlfriend. I'm gonna get in trouble. And they held me down, and they put it all over me. And she goes, well, that's where you fucked up. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you really expect me to believe that you let your friends hold you down and do that to you? Oh, yeah. I guess that's true. That's not something I would do, huh? And I just kind of laughed. I was like, oh, yeah, I guess I'm caught. All right, they're hickeys. And, yeah, I was that type of person. And I really think it stems from being cheated on. When I was younger in high school, and I was doing running through girls, and I was breaking hearts and doing stuff, I had a friend who I realize now, I used to just think that's what friends do, who would cheat with my girlfriends. So he would have my girlfriends cheat with him, which is really fucked up. And if you're watching this, you know it's fucked up, bro. We're boys, no matter what, life or death. You my boy. But the fact that you used to do that shit is so fucked up. I remember the girl I lost my virginity to, we would talk for hours and hours, and I'd fall asleep on the phone, and he would sneak the phone, take it, talk to her, and then he would, like, it's fucked up on their part too, but then they would end up hooking up. I was dating this one girl. Granted, she was one of 4, but I was dating her, and I find out he's talking to her. They're set up for her to come over that night so that they can have sex and hook up. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And I talked to her, and I'm like, so what are you doing tonight? Nothing, I'm just chilling. He's all, shut up, bro, you're fucking it up for me. And in my heart, I was like, this is the most this is crazy that you're doing this. But to him, it was nothing. It didn't make sense to me at the time. It still doesn't make sense to me. I hated it. I pretended like I didn't because that was my boy. Like, that was my family. But it really just broke the trust. It was crazy. I hated it. But I was also doing the same to others. Like I said, she was one of 4. I told you before about this She was such a cute girl. She was so nice. She was so sweet. Took her virginity. Told her I love her. She was the only one for me. And then one of my girlfriends found out, and I had to call her and be like, I don't love you anymore. Click, change my number. There was another one. It was actually Keely. She was my girlfriend, and I was trying to cheat on her, and I was trying to hook up with this chick. Did we end up hooking up? There were so many. I honestly can't remember. I don't remember if we did, but I fell asleep. She took my phone and texted Keely and told her about herself. And I had to like lie about it. I had to make up some story. Nah, she's crazy. I wouldn't do that. I don't remember if we hooked up or not. We might not have. I know we kissed for sure, so I still cheated. But I know we kissed for sure. But I don't know if we ever hooked up. But all of that just turned me into such a monster. So when I was dating Brandy at the time, I was just straight up with her. Told her, lied about the hickeys, but I really feel like all of that stuff culminated into me just being even worse. But yeah, it hit a point to where I was literally just trying to get my number up. I wanted my number, the amount of girls I slept with, I wanted my number just to be high as fuck. How can I say that? We're gonna re-say that, just so we can put it in a short. So I'm sorry that we're gonna talk about it again, but I wanted the number. I wanted my number, the amount of girls I hooked up, to be as high as possible. So I was just running through girls. I was just hooking up. What's up, baby? I love you. I was love bombing for sure. Such a terrible thing. I would never do that now. Just so we're clear, all the things I used to do, I'm good on now. I took probably a 3-year break from women so I could fix myself and work on myself so that I didn't treat people like this. And now sex is cool, but it's not something, unless we're just hooking up to hook up, cool. But it's not something I'm gonna tell you I love you for. We don't have to have sex. We can go out, have a good time, no sex on the table. I'm perfectly fine with that. Back then I wasn't. So I was doing everything I could to get the number of girls I hooked up with, to get my number as high as possible. I was just running through them. Like that's when I did the 4 in a night. So I was just being a reckless, crazy person. And yeah, I think cheating did it. I think there was a lot of factors, but I was just really a piece of shit. I didn't care. I didn't care about women. I didn't care about anybody but myself. I was super narcissistic. I would make women feel like they were the problem. I would put the blame on others. I would get caught and make them feel like they were crazy. I was gaslighting. I was the bad kid. Like we talked about in the other thing, but at this point I wasn't really a kid anymore. I had turned into a monster. And I went from being a kid that could be helped to just being a reckless, don't give a fuck. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna fuck who I want. I'm gonna sleep around. I'm gonna break hearts. I'm gonna make people cry in the bad way, in the worst type of way. I'm gonna do all of these things because I was hurt. I was dragged through the mud. So I'm taking so many with me. Hurt people, and I was doing my damnedest to hurt as many as I could. Even though I would pretend I wasn't. I had one girl pick me up, come to my house, knock on the window. I was like, I'll be right there. The whole time I was having sex with somebody else. And then we walk out, and we walk out together because she's got to get the fuck out of my house. And my girlfriend's like, who is she? I was like, I was just selling her weed. No, you don't have to worry. Whole time we were having sex. I was a monster. I'm not proud of it at all. I'm not saying any of this stuff to brag. I really hope it's coming off that way. I feel like it is because the way I used to say it was a lot different than the way I'm saying it now. And I hope that if you are watching, you understand that it's not okay. Hopefully this will help people understand that going through this isn't a death sentence. There's a lot of people that are going to hurt you, that are going to break your heart, but it doesn't mean that you should become a bad person. It doesn't mean that you should turn into something that you're going to regret later on in life. I worry so much that I affected these girls and that I hurt their chance of finding true love. A lot of them have, a lot of them haven't, but I feel like I'm the cause for a lot of that. Or I'm at least the cause for them not being able to figure shit out for a while. There was probably a good period of time where they had no trust. They were just stuck like I was. Hopefully I didn't make them turn into what I was. And yeah, I don't think it's okay. I don't think it's right. But it definitely happened. Like I said, I just wanted to get my number up as high as possible. And whatever it took to achieve that, I did. I love you. You're the one for me. There's nobody else. I would never do that. I would never cheat on you. So we're going to get married. I want you to meet my family. That just insane things. Insane, terrible things that there's people out there doing today. So you really need to be careful. If you're dating someone or you're thinking about dating someone and they love you so much from the get-go, I would never do that, but you're suspicious. They've got locks on their phone that you can't have access to. They're hiding their phone. Hopefully this makes you understand that those aren't the people that you want to be around. You don't want to be in a relationship with someone that doesn't let you have the passcode to their phone. You should be able to answer your partner's phone at any point. If it rings, hey, can you grab that for me? You should be able to do that at any point. If there's any time that, let me get that. I got that. Who's calling? Nobody. If they don't tell you who's calling, you should be very suspicious. If they hide their phone when they go to bed, you should be suspicious. If you knew their passcode at one point and now you don't have access to it, you should be suspicious. You should always be able to answer that phone. Now, ever since I went through all of that, nowadays, if I'm in a relationship, here's my password, here's how you unlock my phone. Someone's calling, hey, can you answer that? I'm never worried about, oh my God, you're going to answer that phone call? What if it's so-and-so? You don't want that. Trust me, I was the person that did that. I was the person that abused women and ran through women and cheated on women. And then I would lose my shit, punch walls, put holes in walls and shit if you accuse me of something. Now you're the crazy one. You don't want that. If the person you like is someone that you can actually be with, they're not going to have a problem with you answering their phone. They're not going to have a problem with you knowing the passcode. They're not going to have a problem with you checking an email. Or if a notification comes through, hey, can you check that for me? Read that text for me? The person that is going to give you problems is the person that's like, nah, I don't know who it was nothing, babe. Just here, hand me my phone. You don't need to see that. You don't need to answer. You should always be able to check a text. You want to look through my phone? Cool, here's my phone. I literally have nothing to hide. Not even worried about it. Someone texts, check that text for me. Read it out loud. That's who I am now, but that's not who I was. That's not even who I was a little bit. So you need to be really careful of who you're loving, who you're letting love you, who you're trusting with those words. I love you, babe. Do you? Because you're sure crazy about that phone. You text like this. I'm sitting over here and you're texting like this. That's a problem. I mean, I'll text right, So you need to really, really pay attention to stuff like that. Coming from someone that did all that stuff, there's signs that they're not the person that they say they are. There really is. And I can't really say much on the love stuff because I fall in love so fast. It sucks. It's the worst. It really does suck. I have to check myself. But I have to tell people now we just got to go slow because I'm going to fall in love right away. And it's going to go bad. It's going to go so bad. I don't know what it is. Maybe the lack of love growing up, the lack of real intimacy growing up, but I have to check myself so much. It sucks. It really does. And then my heart just gets shattered to pieces. And nowadays, I'm just like, I'm not even going to give it the time of day. I don't want to take that chance. I don't want to worry all the time. That is one of the worst feelings where you're just sitting there thinking, like, are they thinking about me? Do they care? Are they talking to other people? They haven't even texted. That's crazy. They haven't texted, so maybe they're doing something else. Maybe they have someone else. I hate it. I don't even want it. I'm good. Until I can figure out how to fix that, I don't even want it. It's such a shitty thing, but that's why I can't really say much about the I love you, babe. But at least if I say it, you can check my phone. You can check those texts. You can check my email. I don't have time to run around and hide stuff. I remember how draining it was to hide all the different girlfriends. Having to hide my phone and having to do this and that and just try to avoid the slip ups. Oh, my boy, he was dating two girls, and at one point he answers the phone and it's both of them on the phone. Like, and he just hung up. Then they called back and he just talked to him. They said choose. He chose. One stayed, one went. But yeah, it's a mess. If you have the time or the insecurity or the lack of self-love to be that person that's willing to hide your phone or willing to talk to multiple girls and pretend that you're not, then I just feel bad for you at this point. Because I did it because I was an insecure little boy. Only insecure little boys have to run through different girls and be in multiple relationships or talk to multiple women. That's literally, you're just an insecure little boy at that point. No man is talking to multiple women, in multiple relationships, dealing with multiple women, risking breaking someone's heart, risking hurting the one they love. That's little boy shit. And I'm way past it. So if you're dealing with a little boy, you really need to look at yourself in the mirror. Understand that you are worth way more. There are still men out here. There really are. Some of us are just turning into men and growing into a man. But there are still men. It's not just little boys. It sucks that there's so many out there and you got to just fight and claw and dig and deal with all of it, but there are. Same with women. There's real women out there. I'm talking as if it's just us guys that do it, but it's not. Women are real bad too. And it's so much easier for a woman. It's so much easier for a woman to have multiple guys. It's so much easier for her to cheat and lie because guys are dumb. It's hard for guys to get girls unless they're super hot or muscular or whatever. But it's hard for guys to get multiple girls. It's easy for a woman to have multiple guys on them. You just got to walk outside and go, hey, who wants it? You'll have like 4 or 5 guys go into a bar and flash some titties. Like, it's so much easier. So I hate that I was referring to it just like guys only do it because there are real women out there too. I know there's guys watching right now going, dude, I've been cheated on so many times. I've had girls have boyfriends, and they always have their backup. That's why it's really hard to trust women. That's why I don't want to be put in that position, because it's so hard to trust women. I know there's some real ones out there, but how do we know? How do we know? At any point in time, you can have any guy you want. for the most part. So it's really hard to trust women and to really feel like you're the only one. You're the only one they're talking to. You're the only one that they're actually giving their attention to, or that they're actually hooking up with. It's so hard because it's so much easier for women than it is for guys. Guys really have to put on a show. Like we gotta dress nice. We gotta have the cologne. We gotta have muscles. We gotta look good. We've got to do so much to pull multiple women. Whereas women they can go get it. Their options are so much broader than ours. So yeah, it's hard out here for us good people. It really is. Because there was a lot of bad people. And that's why I think they say the dating pool is just so wrecked. And it's so hard for people that actually have good hearts and want to love someone the right way. It's so hard for us to trust and to actually find that person, because we got to go through so many monsters just to find somebody, and then you don't even know if you're going to find somebody. So it's rough. I hate that I was that person. I hate that I was a monster. I hate that it's become what it's become. And then you hit a certain age to where you're like, well, maybe all the good ones are taken. And that's even scarier. It's scary to hit an age to where you think that the only people left out there are the bad ones. The only people left are ones that are going to break your heart or treat you like shit or are going to be gone in a month or two. So we really need to learn to just take it slow, get to know people, really get to know people. Find out if we're compatible. Get past that lying stage. I'm done lying. I'm done trying to be the person you want me to be. I can't do it. I don't have time for it. I'm letting you know from the get. This is who I am. This is what I do. This is how I act. Don't tell me you like this show just because I like this show. Don't tell me you like doing this activity just because I like this activity. How many people like hiking, hook up with start dating someone that loves hiking, only to find out later on they don't even like to hike. They hate the outdoors. Yeah, but you acted like you loved it. So why? I'm done putting on a show. If I don't want to do it, I'm not doing it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Let's figure out if we're compatible. If we are, cool. If not, why waste each other's time? That's just the way it should be. We don't need this fake stage. We don't need that first 3 months of lying and like, oh, I love this restaurant. The whole time you're like, God, I wish they'd stop taking me here. God, why do we have to eat here all the time? I love this. I love watching this with you. Why are we watching fights again? Why do we have to continually watch UFC? I love doing. No, we don't need it. We don't need the fake stage. That should be just gone. Life would be so much easier if we were just all straight up and open about who we are. It really would. I don't want to go camping. I don't want to do this. I'm real straight up about it. You love camping? I hate it. It's fun, it's all right, but I feel like I'm not accomplishing anything. I could be working, accomplishing goals and working towards dreams and working to become someone that can actually help someone, but I'm spending a week out in a tent. It's fun, it's a good time, I get it. I just don't like wasting the time. Hiking's cool, I'll go hiking, that's cool. But I'm not spending, I can't do it. There's just certain things where I'm going to be straight up right away. If you like that, cool, you can go do it. Do it with your friend. If you're someone that I can trust and that's actually a real person, do what you love. We don't have to do everything together. I think that's something we really need to work on too, is you don't have to do everything with your significant other. I know a lot of us have been hurt, we've been cheated on, we've been lied to, so it's so hard to trust. It's so hard to be like, all right, you're going to go do this without hooking up with someone or without finding someone that's better than me. But we need to just get better at that. I'm starting to get to the point where, cool, if you go out, you find someone else, That it is what it is. You'll never find another me. That's for sure. For better or worse, you're never going to find another me. If you end up hooking up with someone, you end up cheating, cool. I know where your loyalty lies. We're done. There's no crying. There's no deal. Cool. Oh, you got someone's number? Go be with him. It's simple as that. I'm not an option. A lot of us need to realize we're not options. We are a trophy. You're a trophy. And you need to understand that you're a trophy. You might not be a trophy for this person, but this person isn't a trophy for you either. Don't settle. Don't just become somebody's person that, like, where you have to mold into what they think they want or what they... Be who you are. Be your genuine self. And eventually you're going to find someone that loves your genuine self. And you're going to love that person. We don't need to keep conforming. We don't need to keep settling. We need to just be honest with each other. We need to stop doing the fake stage. We need to realize that we are a trophy to somebody. And we need to just be that person. Be the person we are. Let's not lie. Let's not fake. Let's not... If you love to do this and I don't, and we can trust each other, you go do it with your friends. If I love to do this and you don't, I'll go do it with my friends. If that's a problem, then that's a problem. If it's not, then we're fine. But we don't need to continually make everything like we have to do everything together. We have to be attached at the hip. We have to do everything with each other 24/7. It's just not the way it works. I've got my brother right now is in a completely different country and his wife is still here. His wife went to, the way they funded their wedding is she worked in Antarctica for 6 months. And they stayed together. They're awesome. Like, they are so funny. They're the best. But they understand that it's trust. We don't have to like the same things. I can trust you're going somewhere and you're going to do what you're doing. That's a real relationship. Like, that's real. A lot of what we do isn't real. And we need to just be the type that can be with someone that we know we can trust. We need to be the type that can be ourselves and realize we're a trophy. And we need to understand that we don't have to be attached at the hip to the person we love. If you really love each other, you can go your separate ways and be fine. Because at the end of the day, you're coming home to each other. And I know there's a lot of people that were who I was and are who I was. There's a lot of scumbag people out there, and it's hard to trust. But if we're just honest and open and just understanding, and we know our self-worth, and we know what we like, we know what we don't like, and we're honest about it, then we'll find the person that looks at us like we're a trophy. Because we are. We're all trophies. We all shine. We all have our gifts. We all have the things that make us great. It's just not for everyone. And we got to stop expecting it to be for everyone. And we're not going to find the right person if we pretend to be someone we're not. We're not going to find the person that loves us for us if we pretend that we are what they want. I can't tell someone I love camping and go camping and act like I love it and then 3 months later be like, dude, I can't do this. No, I'm not that person. Just like I can't expect someone to be like, you know what? I love playing cornhole. I love this. I want to do it. And they're like, I hate this. Or, oh, I want to watch fights and do this. And you love watching fights. So I love watching fights too. And they hate violence. We cannot continually put on this fake mask, this fake facade, this just fake persona to try to be someone for someone. If you guys just want to have sex, the sex is great, then just have sex and deal with sex. Don't pretend to be someone you're not. You're never going to find the person that looks at you as a trophy if you continue to pretend to be someone you're not. That's just the way it is. And the person that looks at you like a trophy is out there. There's someone that is craving to find you, the real you. You just got to stop lying and pretending that you're someone that you're not, so that that person can find you. Until then, you're going to just keep hooking up with the wrong people, keep getting in bad relationships, keep wasting time. It's okay to be alone. It really is. Once you accept being alone, it's one of the most freeing things in the world. It's harder to be in a relationship after you accept being alone than it is to be alone. I am so scared to waste my time with someone that isn't who for me, that it's going to end up being bad in a couple months. It's just not going to work that way. So be yourself, love yourself, stop pretending to be someone that you're not just so that you can find somebody. Realize you're a trophy, and then you're going to find someone that looks at you as such. We'll end it there. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, share, do all the good stuff. Hopefully this one wasn't a bunch of rambling and it turned out well, but I will see you on the next one. Yeah, good timing.
Yeah, look through.